here we are in the studio, and the spirit of Thelonious Monk is floating around. And the saxophone, well, for the moment I was really fantasizing. I thought the saxophonist could have been in Duke Ellington's band. And as you know, this night we're celebrating the Duke's 106th anniversary of birth. But that was Joe Lovano, and Joe in the mood and in the work and in the spirit of Monk. And I have him on the line because next Friday and Saturday, Joe Lovano, composer, saxophonist, and performing artist, joins with the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra at the Ordway Center in St. Paul, Minnesota, to inaugurate and present an American premiere of A Man Descending. Joe Lovano, welcome into Minnesota Public Radio, and tell us about the composer and this work that you're going to be premiering.
Well, thanks for inviting me to share some moments with you guys tonight. I'm in New York City, and thanks for playing the music, Leigh.
Oh, you're
Focusing
welcome.
on these things, you know? We need each other.
Well, you're traveling the world, and we're an echo for you.
I just returned from Europe, actually, with Hank Jones, George Mraz, and Louis Nash. We just did a small little tour. We went to Portugal and Italy and Switzerland, and playing some music from this recording, I'm All For You, which is the Monk's Mood, what we just heard was from, and celebrating a new release that's coming out actually May 10th, called Joyous Encounter, with the same quartet with Paul Motion on drums. And this last track you just heard, Monk's Mood, was a trio with Paul on brushes and Hank and myself, you know. Of course, Hank and Thelonious Monk were contemporaries on the scene together from the early 40s. And this was one of the tunes that I wanted to play with Hank, you know. He told a funny story that he actually wrote out a lead sheet for Monk on that tune one time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know, it's so great to be playing with him. He's 86 right now and is a treasure in this music.
And the surviving member of the Jones clan.
Yeah, he's the eldest, and he's an inspiration.
Well, when you come to the Ordway on May 6th and 7th, Ordway Center in St. Paul, Minnesota.
I'm excited about that, to play with the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra.
Well, you've been involved with classical music, doing works of Caruso and others.
Yeah, I mean, my recording, Viva Caruso, I mean, I was kind of inspired by Caruso's presence and sound and his life. And I focused on some folk songs that he used to like to sing, and played them in a real open, free jazz way, in more than in a classical way, you know. Byron Olson did do some orchestrations for woodwinds for me that kind of put it in a mood, but we really improvised pretty freely throughout that recording, and it was fun to, and I learned a lot also, just focusing on Caruso's sound and his whole presentation of a melody, you know. And working with Gunther Schuller through the years also has given me a chance to play within some orchestrations, and not only improvise on a song form, but play in more open forms, you know. In this piece, A Man Descending, that we are going to be premiering here at the St. Paul, the Ordway Theater in St. Paul, is written by Mark Anthony Turnage, a former student of Gunther Schuller. I'm sure he's still continuing to study with Gunther, just listening to his music and knowing him, you know. But it's a very beautiful piece of music that he wrote for me. And there's a lot of room for interpretation and moments of improvisation throughout also.
Which is certainly one of the important aspects of American jazz, let alone classical music, which is more disciplined, of course.
Right, but I mean, even from the earliest times with Mozart, there was a lot of open cadenzas and things that were improvised. And I think this piece has a sense of some of that, Of course, there's no rhythm section. It's just tenor saxophone and chamber ensemble, But I have freedom to execute my ideas in a few cadenza moments, that are coming from within the piece and then leading into it as well.
The St. Paul Chamber Orchestra is presenting Joe and a U.S. premiere of Man Descending.
Yeah, we've played this piece. We actually played it the first time. It was in October last year in Scotland, in Edinburgh and Glasgow, with the Scottish National Orchestra. And I just did it about a month ago in Helsinki, Finland, with the Tapiola Sinfonetta, which was really beautiful. That was a nice part of a festival that they had going on there.
I want to thank you for taking time to give us a sense of what will be going on musically on May 6th and 7th, next Friday and Saturday at the Ordway Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. And Joe, it is always a pleasure to contact you. And we know how busy you are, and want to thank you for taking time.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, I've had a little busy period here, but tonight was nice to just relax and look forward to this broadcast.
We'll see you on next Friday and Saturday.
Excellent.
St. Paul, Minnesota, May 6th and 7th.
Thanks so much, Leigh.